Good evening, everyone. My name is Bill Zacks, and I'm a trustee of the Boswell Book Festival, the 8th annual event. And it's my great pleasure this evening to briefly introduce a musical event of the kind that Boswell himself might have heard. Indeed, it's Boswell's words that will narrate the event. The words actually crafted by Gordon Turnbull, the editor of the Boswell papers at Yale University. The music will be sung by Tom Walker, accompanied on an instrument called a virginal by David McGuinness, an instrument of the kind that Boswell would have heard himself. Ladies and gentlemen, without the founder, the inspiration of our festival, there would be no music at all. Let me introduce James Boswell himself.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you too, sir. Thank you. That's right. I am Boswell. It's an incredible similarity, isn't it? Yes. Now, you must know I lived in an incredibly musical time, and I loved all manner of music and song. I actually have a very fine singing voice, and I sang on some public occasions. I sang on many public occasions, but often to the great embarrassment of everyone involved, which is why someone else is doing the singing tonight. Now, I liked to compose lively lyrics to existing melodies, and my wonderful journals are full of hundreds of references to popular songs of the time. I love musicals. Who doesn't love musicals, eh? And one of my favourites was John Gay's The Beggar's Opera. In fact, on a particularly riotous night in a tavern, I remember joyously launching into the song that Gay's character sang at Newgate. And that song is Youth's the Season.
Youth's the season made for joys, love is then our duty. She alone who that employs well deserves her beauty. Let's be gay while we may, beauty's a flower despised in decay. Youth's the season made for joys, love is then our duty. Let us drink and sport today, ours is not tomorrow. Love with youth flies swift away, age is naught but sorrow. Dance and sing, time's on the wing, life never knows the return of spring. Let us drink and sport today, ours is not tomorrow.
I loved actors and actresses. I really did. And I delighted in the theatre of Edinburgh's Cannon Gates. In fact, it was when I discovered plays and players that I realized this world of fun and entertainment that I'd been sheltered from for my entire life by my strict religious upbringing. My incredibly devout and pious mother, Euphemia, was once made to go to the theatre. And she cried. And she swore to never go to the theatre ever again. I've been to plays like that myself, to be fair. But I wrote in my diary on the 14th of December, 1762, about my fine gay ideas of Edinburgh theatre. In my boyish days, when I used to walk down the Cannon Gate and think of the players were a mixture of narrow-minded horror and lively-minded pleasure, and used to wonder at painted equipages and powdered ladies, and sing the Bonnie Bush aboon Traquair, which is, of course, about Traquair House, which at that time was in Peebleshire, and the bush was just a wee bush next to the Bonnie House of Traquair. Now, this particular song, I first heard it in The Gentle Shepherd, which was from the great Scottish writer Alan Ramsay. And it tells the story of a young boy, very, very much smitten and in love, but sadly, he has made a bit of an offensive misstep in the pursuits of the woman of his dreams, and now finds himself quite regretting his overly ardent behaviour, shall we say.
Hear me, ye nymphs, and happy swain, I'll tell how Peggy grieves me, though thus I languish and complain, alas, she ne'er believes me. My vows and sighs like silent air, unheeded never move her. At the bonny bush a bloomed back where 'twas there I first did love her. That day she smiled and made me glad, no maid seemed ever kinder. I thought myself the luckiest lad, so sweetly there to find her. I tried to soothe my amorous flame in words that I thought tender. If more there passed, I'm not to blame. I meant not to offend her. Who hear my strains, why thus should Peggy grieve me? Oh, make a partner in my pains, then let her smiles relieve me. If not, my love will turn despair, my passion nay more tender. I'll leave the bush abund where, till lonely wilds I'll wander.
Of course, the beauty of Ayrshire is the topic of many poems and songs by my younger fellow Ayrshireman. You might have heard of him, Robert Burns. Not heard of him? That's right, he's not that famous, to be honest. He, I'm very proud to say, was a great admirer of mine. And in his Fête Champêtre, he wrote about the time that I took the Great Bear, Sir Dr. Samuel Johnson, on a tour around the Highlands and Islands of Scotland. Burns refers to me as him wha led o'er Scotland all the meikle Ursa Mare. And in his author's earnest cry and prayer, he writes, alas, I am but a nameless wight, trod in the mire out of sight, but could I like Montgomery's fight or gab like Boswell, there's some sark necks I would draw tight and tie some hose well. How nicely he rhymes my name. Now, sadly, Burns and I never did manage to meet. But in honour of the nice things that Mr. Burns said about me, Mr. Boswell, I would like to present to you one of his most beautiful songs. It is, of course, Farewell to the Banks of Ayr.
The gloomy night is gathering fast, loud roars the wild in constant blast. Yon murky cloud is foul with rain, I see it driving o'er the plain. The hunter now has left the moor, the scattered copies we'd secure, while here I wander pressed with care along the lonely banks of Ayr. 'Tis not the surging billows roar, 'tis not that fatal deadly shore, though death in every shape appear, the wretched have nae morte fear. But round my head the joys abound, that heart transpierced with many a wound. These bleed afresh, those ties I tear, till leave the bonny banks of Ayr. As hills and dales, heathy moors and winding vales, the scenes where wretched fancy roves, pursuing past unhappy loves. Farewell, my friends, farewell, my foes, my peace with these, my love with those. The bursting tears my heart declare, farewell the bonny banks of Ayr.
The Edinburgh of my time was an incredibly social place, and there were very many clubs and societies. Some of them were very, very serious, and some of them were just for merriment. And it was with a couple of fellows that I would go every Tuesday to a place called Tom's Tavern as part of our club, the Soapers Club. And the motto of the Soapers Club was that every man should soap his own beard. What that means is that every man should live to his own whim and humours, or to put more simply, just be yourself. So, I will leave you with this final number that shows just what a wonderfully humorous and boisterous and bouncing character I was, but also shows just how vain I may well have been, because this song is an ode to the brilliance of me, written by me, to be performed at the Soapers Club, and the name of it is Boswell of Soapers, the King, to the tune of old Sir Simon the King.
Boswell of Soapers the king, on Tuesdays at Tom's does appear, and when he does talk or does sing, to him never one can come near, for he talks with such ease and such grace, that our charm to attention we sit, and he sings with so comic a face, that our sides are just ready to split. Boswell as women adore, and never once means to deceive. He's in love with at least a half score. If they're serious, he smiles in his sleeve. He has all the bright fancy of youth, with the judgment of 45. In short, to declare the plain truth, there is nae better fellow alive.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And please do enjoy my book festival. Good evening.